December and January are traditionally slower months for real estate sales, with less activity in the market, as you will see in today's numbers. And also, the terrible weather we've been having this winter, with the record snowfall, the cold temperatures, is no doubt having an effect on the number of sales. I mean, who wants to go looking at houses when you've got to tromp through 2 feet of snow in minus 20-degree weather? Nobody wants to do that. I saw on the news last week where they said Barrie has had over 3 meters of snow. That's 10 feet of snow so far this winter. Now, keep in mind, that is not normal for Barrie. We get more snow than Toronto and the GTA for sure, but 10 feet of snow in the span of 2 months is not normal. 2 years ago, we had a light winter, and I tell you, I think I used my snowblower maybe 5 times, and that was it. So normally we're somewhere in the middle of those two extremes. Wait and see what happens when we get into February, the spring market, see if things pick up when the weather gets warmer and we have less snow. This past Saturday on the real estate board, I noticed that there were 2 houses that sold for over list price. These houses did not use the tactic of listing low in order to generate a bidding war. These were just normally market value priced houses, and they sold for over list price. Now, it wasn't like they sold for $30,000 over list price and got 10 offers like 4 years ago. One sold for $5,000 over list price, one sold for $1,000 over list price. But when we see a house that sells over list price in this kind of market, it generally means that they had more than one offer on it. This has always happened in the Barrie market. There are houses occasionally get more than one offers, and you're in competition. Okay, now it's time to get into numbers for my January 2026 market update for Simcoe County and the Barrie area. Simcoe County, for all property types, there were 349 sales, and the average price of those sales was just under $755,000. There were 1,336 new listings, and it was 57 days on the market for those. And you can see by the arrows on the graphic beside me whether that number was up or down compared to last year. Detached houses in Barrie, there were 67 sold. The average price of those sales was just under $770,000. There were 211 new listings, and the days on the market was 54. Now, that average price of detached of $770,000, I remember 4 years ago or so, in the peak of the market in the middle of the pandemic, where that average price for a detached house in Barrie was almost $1.1 million. Freehold townhouses within Barrie, there were only 11 sales, and the average price of those sales was just over $586,000. There were 40 new listings, and the days on the market was 57 days. That's a jump of like 20 days from last year. That's not normal for freehold townhouses in Barrie. They normally sell very well. I think we can chalk that one up to the bad weather. Condominium apartments in Barrie, there were 12 sold. Average price just under $443,000, 66 new listings, and 54 days on the market. Innisfil detached properties, there were 27 sales, average price of just over $855,000, 132 new listings, and 51 days on the market. So as you can see, prices are down around 10% in every segment except for Barrie condominium apartments. Everything else, Innisfil, Barrie detached, townhouses, Simcoe County, was down around 10%. Another thing you may have noticed is that the number of new listings is down quite substantially, except for Innisfil again. It's a little bit strange. Innisfil was up a little bit, 3%. If you are thinking of buying a house in 2026, you'll have less of a selection than maybe you would have had last year because the number of new listings is down, but you'll pay less because obviously the average price of most segments are down 10%, sometimes as high as 20%. And you'll have more time to make your selection because the number of days on the market, stuff is taking longer to sell.